888-835-2414.
This is Learning with Leslie. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Learning with Leslie, the podcast where we focus on making an impact from home, at home, and beyond. No, I'm not talking about the kind of impact that's gonna fall by the wayside when Google has a mood swing. I'm talking about the kind that will thrive no matter what gets thrown at it. I'm your host, Leslie Samuel from IamLeslieSamuel.com, where we're changing the world one person at a time. And as usual, I have another exciting episode for you today. In today's episode 412, we're going to be talking about how to get started when things are messy. Yeah, I get it. You want to get started. You have an idea for a business, or maybe you have a business already and there's something new that you want to launch. You've done your research, but you just don't feel ready, or you haven't quite done enough research, or maybe you're unsure. Regardless of how good an idea of it might be, things are still a bit messy. What are you supposed to do? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to share from my experience how I got started, how I'm getting started today still, and how I make things happen, how I try to make things happen even when things are messy. So if that's what you're into, that's what we're going to be talking about today. What is up? What is up? What is up? I hope you are having a better than stupendous day. And if you're not, for some reason, I hope that by the end of today's episode, it is a little more better than stupendous. I want to tell you this from the beginning. This episode, if you listen to this episode, if you're the right person and you listen to this episode from beginning to end and you take it to heart, this episode will change your life. Yes. I literally just said that. I'm making a bold claim. I want to make that from up front. I want you to know where I stand on this. I am saying this because these concepts are concepts that have changed my life, and I believe it can do the same thing for you. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to listen. I want you to pay attention, and then I want you to do something as a result of it. And when you do, if you do, please come back and tell me about it, because I can't wait to hear the stories that come as a result of it. I gotta let you know this episode is brought to you by Ecamm Live, the all-in-one video production platform. This is the software that I'm using to produce this video podcast, and check it out at ecamm.com/Leslie. Use the promo code Leslie and you will save 15%. If you are producing video, you're using a Mac, and it's taking you a lot of time to edit, check them out. It will save you time. And on that note, we got to get into the content for today's episode. So let's go ahead and make it happen. All right, I got a confession to make. I got a confession, and this is important. I want you to know this about me from the very beginning. Okay, I am human. I know. Wait. Listen. I am a human being, and as a human being, I mean, you might be one too if you're listening to this. As a human being, messiness is kind of just like a part of my experience. Like, things aren't always perfect. I know, it blows your mind. It blows mine too. But because I am a human being, messiness comes with the territory. It's a natural part of living a life as a human being. It's a natural part of growth. It's a natural part of innovation. And things aren't always perfect. That's the first thing I want you to understand. That's the first thing I need to understand. Things are not always going to be perfect. And I have a lot of experience with non-perfect situations to show me that, you know what? This is a fact of reality. This is the life that we live. Now, because of the fact that life is not perfect, and things are not always going to be perfect, we have to find a way of dealing with that. And we have to find a way of living with that. There's a quote from John Archibald Wheeler that says this: in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. This means that if I'm going through a difficult situation, like if I embrace this mindset of in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity, if I embrace that mindset when I'm going through a difficult time, when I'm dealing with a challenging situation, my eyes are automatically looking for something. My eyes are automatically looking for opportunity. When it comes to doing something significant, when it comes to starting something significant, there is difficulty. And those difficulties can be challenges coming from all kinds of different directions for all kinds of different reasons. When I see those difficulties, there should be this automatic like ding, 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 difficulty. You know what that means? Opportunity. I'm a part of a mastermind group. I've been a part of this mastermind group for over a decade. It's a group of 6 guys. We meet every Wednesday on Zoom to talk about the challenges we're facing, the amazing things the amazing situations that we are facing, and everything in between. All right. And we're all human in the group as well. And because we're all human in the group, we're all humans in the group, all of us have faced multiple situations that were just extremely difficult. And there's this statement that always comes up. One of the guys in the mastermind group, his name is Mike Stelzner. And I can remember on a number of occasions him talking about a challenging situation he's facing. And there's a question that he always asks himself, and that question frames everything. With the challenging situation, what does this make possible? Like when we think about difficult situations, what we think about usually is, how do I get out of this? And what I want to encourage you is, if you are dealing with some kind of a difficult situation that is maybe stopping you from moving forward, I want you to ask yourself, wow, difficult situation, ding, 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 ding. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. So what does this make possible? Now, I want to tell you a little bit about my story. My journey in entrepreneurship has been a journey. Now, if you are leaving from Florida and you are driving to Michigan, I'm just going to choose those 2 places because I've lived in both places. On the road to get to Michigan, there are going to be some roads that are bumpy. There are going to be some roads that are windy and all of that stuff. But you have a destination. Now, I'm not going to say, you know what? Forget about this trip because there's a windy section in between. Or forget about this trip because there's a hilly or a bumpy section in between. No. I know where I'm trying to go. And because I know where I'm trying to go, I am going to embrace the fact that there are bumpy roads, there are hilly roads, there are windy roads, because that's a part of the journey. When I left my job in 2014 to become a full-time entrepreneur, oh my goodness, that was a bumpy road because my business was not where it needed to be. My business was not in a place where I was making enough money to provide for my family, but my wife and I both felt strongly that this is the direction that we needed to go. And this, for us in that situation, is where we felt led. We felt like God was saying, this is the time to step out in faith. And we did that. But it was rough. Listen, it was one of the roughest times I've ever been through. I remember my wife coming to me, I've shared this before, coming to me and saying, because we had our son, Noah, and he was a baby, coming to me and saying, we need diapers. And me responding, I know. How are we going to pay for it? Like, I don't have the money. And then we had to be creative, right? We had to use cloth, and that was our diapers for that time. It was difficult. I remember when I started coaching not because I was an expert coach. I started coaching because I learned, I had, I accumulated some knowledge when it comes to entrepreneurship and building a business online. And I was desperate and needed some money. So I offered coaching and I started working with people. I didn't have it figured out. I didn't know all of the things I know today about coaching 10 years later, but I needed to make some money and I had to get creative. So I got started. When I relaunched this podcast, let's even talk about more recent. I relaunched this podcast at the beginning of this year at a very busy and hectic time where I didn't have everything set up for doing this podcast. And no, this was at the end of last year. And as a result, I've messed up in a number of ways. I've missed some episodes. Some were posted as video, but not audio. And I've just kind of been fumbling through this thing of relaunching this podcast in the middle of traveling and all this stuff. Things get messy. Entrepreneurship is not a straight line. Now, what I've noticed is that because things get messy, because we don't have things all figured out, a lot of people, what they will do is just not get started. And when I think about why people don't get started, and when I've asked people, what is holding you back from doing that thing that you feel called to do? Here are the three. Do I have three? Yes, three main reasons I hear. Reason number one, fear of failure. I don't know if you've ever experienced that fear, but fear of failure is a real thing. And unfortunately, our school system, and this is me now complaining about the school system, I know, but our school system basically indoctrinates us with this idea that failure is a bad thing. You don't want to get an F. You don't want to miss that point, because if you miss that point, that is bad. If you get an F, that is bad. Now, I'm not here saying, hey, let's embrace all Fs and just go and flunk out of everything. No. I'm addressing the mindset that when I fail, that means something is wrong. And because that's been ingrained into us, we don't get started because we're afraid we're gonna fail. That's reason number one. Reason number two, and this one is, this one is vicious. Perfectionism. I can't do it yet. Why? Because I haven't figured it all out. It's not perfect. And until I get it perfect, I'm not gonna actually do anything. I'm gonna study. I'm gonna prepare. I'm gonna go to classes. I'm gonna watch webinars. I'm gonna read ebooks. I'm gonna consume more content. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna learn this. I'm gonna learn that. I'm gonna learn that. And when I figure it all out, well, no, wait, I never figure it all out, so I never get started. Number one, fear of failure. Number two, perfectionism. And they're both terrible things when it comes to actually getting started. Number three, I don't have the resources that I need. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't know how to do such and such. I have certain limitations that are preventing me from accomplishing what I want to accomplish, from doing what I want to do, from doing what I feel called to do. I don't know how to do it. I have these limitations, and these limitations are holding me back. And then I watch a TED Talk. I watched a TED Talk that was by this artist. His name is Phil Hansen. And the name of this TED Talk, I would highly recommend for you to check it out. It's called Embrace the Shake. Now, this guy was an artist, and he was very into a specific type of art called pointillism. And pointillism is this thing where you make all of these dots, these points on paper, right? And it takes very fine and delicate precision. And as you put these dots together and you zoom out, you end up with this magnificent picture of something great by all of these dots, by using all of these little dots. Now, here's the issue. He was really good at it. And it was a big part of what he did. It was a big part of his artistic identity. And then he developed a hand tremor. Because of all of that precision work, his hand started shaking as he's trying to do this. And basically, what happened is because he was doing it so much, he had nerve damage. And the more he did it, the worse this tremor got. And at a certain point, he just gave up and he said, forget this, it's not going to work. Now, when he decided he wanted to go back and start doing art again, he went to a doctor, a neurologist, or someone that specializes in what he was dealing with. And that's when he found out, no, you have some serious nerve damage and your hand tremors aren't going anywhere. And then the doctor said something to him. You should embrace the shake. This is a limitation, the shaky hand. It is a limitation. A lot of people would say, well, you need to give up because this is not going to work. This is what you do. Your hands need to be still and precise. But when he heard that, he took that to heart. And he decided, you know what? I'm going to embrace the fact that I have a shaky hand. I'm going to try, because of this quote unquote limitation, I'm going to embrace that limitation and see what creative avenues it opens up. So he started using his body in different ways to create art and using unconventional items. And as a result, the art that he created as a result of his limitations was so much more amazing than the art that he created before he had those perceived limitations. Once again, what he was doing in that situation is he was asking the question, what does this make possible? How can I do art in a different way because of the limitations that are placed on me? So number one reason why people don't get started, fear of failure. The reality is failure is a part of the journey to get to our destination. Embrace failure. Number two, perfectionism. It doesn't exist. Perfect, I'm sorry. If you are human like me, it ain't happening. So embrace the journey. Done is better than perfect. Get started, get it done. Lack of resources, amen. You have limitations? Awesome. What does this make possible? Now, let's talk about some practical steps to getting started in spite of things being messy, in spite of difficulties, in spite of limitations, and all of that good stuff. Number one, we've already spoken about it. Embrace imperfection. Imperfection is a great thing. Done is better than perfect. I was at an event, a virtual event, and this was the virtual event on virtual events. And one of the statements that they were making over and over is the idea of progress, not perfection. It's not about me being perfect in what I'm doing right now. It's about me making progress. And if I can see myself making progress, that is progress. And progress is a good thing. And if I embrace imperfection, embrace the fact that it's not going to be perfect, embrace the fact that there are going to be limitations, man, that frees me up to do some amazing work. Have you ever been like trying to do something, right? And you know you can do a good job at it. So you're studying it, and it's taking so much time to study, and you're learning and you're learning and you're learning. And then you look out there and someone is just putting stuff out there, like they're just throwing it out there. It's not even polished, but it's reaching so many people. It's helping so many people. It's providing so much value, even though it was shot on a shaky camera by someone that didn't even really know what they're doing, besides the fact that they were just doing. Imperfect action beats a perfect idea any day. Imperfect action beats a perfect idea any day, because a perfect idea is just an idea, and nothing happens in an idea until you start taking action. Imperfect action is what it's all about. Voltaire made this statement: the perfect is the enemy of the good. Always trying to wait until things are perfect, that's going to stop you from doing any good. Why stop from doing good in pursuit of perfection? It ain't going to happen. So, number one, embrace imperfection. Number two, get started. Like, just do it, man. Like, when I relaunched this podcast, I didn't have everything figured out. I just relaunched it and said, you know what? I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up every week. And I failed at it in the beginning. And then I made this commitment. No. I am literally going to show up every single week. Whether I'm traveling, whether I'm not traveling, whether I'm sick, whether I'm whatever. So far, it's been good. I'm not going to sit here and claim that I'm never going to mess up with it. No, because I know myself. And from time to time, being human like I am, I mess up. And that is okay. Get started. Here's the thing, right? There's something in getting started and making progress, right? There's excitement in making progress. When you see today you created something that didn't exist yesterday. I'm recording this podcast episode right now. When I'm done recording this podcast episode, this is something new that didn't exist, and I can share it and people can listen to it and you can watch it and all of that stuff. There's something exciting about that. Progress is exciting, and there are psychological benefits that come along with progress. But you got to get started. Because progress is exciting. Staying still sucks. I know, that's not like the technical, no, it is my technical term. Staying still sucks. Make progress. I like this statement. Action breeds clarity and can lead to unexpected opportunities. When I decided to start this podcast, I reached out to Ecamm Live, who is the sponsor for this podcast, and I spoke to them about this potential idea that I had, and they loved it, and they decided to sponsor the podcast. If I had said, no, I'm not ready to start this podcast, I would have never had that opportunity. But because I got started, that happened. And because I got started with my biology blog and biology videos, I became a university professor. And because I got started with it, I'm now on the Science Channel, on a number of TV shows and on Curiosity Stream, and I've been featured on the news. Why? Not because I'm perfect, because I took action. Get started. Okay, that's number one, was embrace imperfection. Number two, get started. Number three, let's talk about number three. Deal with the fear of imperfection. Okay, so here's how I recommend for us to deal with this fear. Instead of focusing on flawless execution, focus on learning. Like, there's something exciting about learning. I don't know how to do this thing today. I don't know how to set it up. I don't know how to set up a blog. I don't know how to launch a YouTube channel. I don't know how to make a video. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. But I'm human, which means I have a brain. And if I have a brain, that means I can learn. And that's a beautiful thing. I love learning because learning helps me to get better. Learning is growth. So there's a mindset shift that happens here from fearing failure to embracing failure. Like, no, I want to fail, because if I fail at something, that means I'm doing something that's a little outside of my comfort zone, or a little outside of my like what I know how to do. And if I do that and I fail, I'm going to figure out, why did I fail? And once I know why I failed, I've learned something and I can do it better the next time. And maybe it's a slow process. Embrace slow processes. Because every little thing that we put out there is one thing that was not out there before. and one more thing that has the ability to have a positive effect on somebody else. Make sense? Okay, this is the next one. Get feedback and iterate. Oh, this is what it's all about right here. You put stuff out there. And when you put stuff out there, you're no longer fearing failure, right? You're just putting it out there because this is what you feel called to do. When you do that, you're going to start getting feedback. When you do it, you're going to start seeing, oh, I put this out there. I don't fully like how I did this, but I'm going to tweak it. And the more you tweak, like, have you ever started? I made a video once where I was trying to push a car. And in the beginning, it was so hard. And I started pushing. It didn't move. And then you saw the tire. And at one point, it started, it just went a little bit. And once it started going a little bit, it started going a little bit faster. And it started gaining momentum. And as it gained momentum, all of a sudden, I can push this car. I'm pushing a car. Once you get things moving, you can start adjusting. And when it's moving, it becomes easier to keep it moving than it was to get it moving. So we got to get over that hump, start putting stuff out there, start getting feedback. People say, I don't like when you do this. Okay, great, whatever. But if you keep hearing that, maybe you shift it a little bit. You're going to learn in the process. You're going to get feedback from others, from yourself, and then you can iterate and make it better over time. You know what doesn't make it better over time? Keeping it in your head. That is not going to make it better. What's going to make it better is doing it and doing it. The song just came in my mind, doing it and doing it and doing it. Well, okay, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about doing it over and over and over and over. And it gets a little better each time. But if you don't embrace that process, it ain't going to happen. Get feedback and iterate. One more. Celebrate small wins. Listen, you decide, you know what? I'm not going to fear failure anymore. I'm going to embrace failure. I'm going to get started. I'm going to just do it. Yeah, I don't know everything and I have limitations, but I'm going to look for the opportunities in the difficulties. I'm going to make it happen. I'm getting feedback. I'm making it better. I'm improving over time. I'm learning in the process. Things are going to start happening. And what tends to happen is when these things happen, okay, that happened. Let's move on and keep. No. Don't do that. I want you to celebrate even the small things. You set up a website. Celebrate that junk, yo. You got a website set up. You made a video for the first time. Celebrate that. You put it out there. You got a comment. You got some feedback. Celebrate the small wins. Here's the reality. Done is better than perfect. Perfection never happens, right? So let's get it done. Let's just do it. That's it. So number one, embrace imperfection. Number two, get started. Number three, we gotta deal with the fear of this imperfection. Number four, get feedback and iterate. And number five, celebrate the small wins. Get out there and make it happen. Now, there's something that I did before I posted this episode. I went on Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook, I am Leslie Samuel, facebook.com/I am Leslie Samuel. And I asked for questions and I got some questions. I didn't prepare answers because I wanted to just see what comes up from me in the moment as I'm thinking about those questions. All right. So I'm going to read some of those questions and we're going to talk about those in a quick second. Now, before we do that, I got to mention these guys again because they are part of the reason why I'm able to do this. Ecamm Live is the sponsor for this podcast. I'm able to do this not just because they're supporting it as a sponsor, but also because I'm using Ecamm Live to make this video right now. If you're listening to the audio, there's a lot of stuff that's happening on the screen whenever I press a button. I'm changing cameras, switching cameras. I am bringing up animations. I am putting on the screen the Ecamm logo and all that good stuff. Why? Because Ecamm Live makes it so easy for me to produce professional quality video without needing a team, without needing to spend a bunch of time editing. When I am done with this, I am done with this, and I can upload it to YouTube and the magic can happen. If you haven't checked them out yet, go to ecamm.com/Leslie. That is a special tracking link. And if you use the promo code Leslie, that's going to give you 15% off your first purchase. So check them out and tell them that I sent you. All right. So now we're going to take some questions. And yeah, I'm just going to take these questions and we'll see what comes out of it. So question number 1 came in from Melanie Miller. And it was a question that Rebecca Turk also asked something similar. But here was the question. How can I effectively manage distractions to improve focus and efficiency when you own your own business? Oh my goodness. It's just Melanie and me that get distracted from time to time? No, you don't. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna just talk to Melanie since we're the only ones that deal with this idea of distractions. Oh, and Rebecca. All right. Now, you can listen to and see if you get anything from it. Distractions are huge. I know what I am here to create, but then I sit down to create, and when I sit down to create, I'm gonna get a notification. And like, oh, shoot, I'm going to open up a browser and shoot, now I'm checking Facebook. All of a sudden, I'm scrolling down the news feed and all of this stuff. How do I get over that so that I can focus? I'll tell you a few practical things that I've done. Thing number 1, notifications are gone. I don't like my phone telling me when to look at it. So unless it is a phone call, or it is a text message, all of my notifications are disabled. And when I am working, I put my phone in do not disturb mode. That's number 1. That's what I've done. And I have specific times that I have my phone in do not disturb mode because I don't want the temptation. That's number 1. Number 2, I've installed some practical things on my laptop. So there's a Chrome extension, and it's available on the different browsers as well. That's called Kill Newsfeed or something like that, to kill your news feeds. Basically, if I go to Facebook, I can show this if you're watching on the video. If I go to Facebook, this is what I see. I see a quote. Where's my news feed? It doesn't exist. There is no news feed for me. There's a quote that says, "Someday is not a day of the week." That's so appropriate. Someday is not, I'm not going to get it done. That's perfect for what we're talking about here, right? We're talking about distractions. I want to do it, but I want to do it someday. No. Someday is not a day of the week. I don't have news feeds anymore. I've removed that distraction. And when I do want to do it, I can disable it and go through my news feed. But I've identified those things that distract me, and I've taken practical steps to just eliminate them. Yeah, we can say, just be stronger. Just don't pay attention to those. No. Remove the ones that you can remove. Eliminate them. And then what I do is I schedule those things. So they're no longer distraction. Distraction is something that takes you away from what you are supposed to be doing. What I do is now I will do social media from 12 to 12:30. And during that time, it's not a distraction because it's what I intend to do. So now it is actually traction, not distraction. So eliminate the things that you can, schedule the things that you actually want to do when you want to do it, and then work on sticking to that schedule. Those are some of the tips for me. Number 2, Rebecca Turk has this question. She said, I've always been great big idea. I always have I can't read. What's going on? I always have great big ideas for business and changing the world for better, but life happens. And by the end of the day, I forget that I wrote out a whole business plan and stored it away. What do I do? Here's what I recommend. Don't store it away. You have that business plan, break it down in like, this is what I need to do today. Write it out and put it there right by your laptop so you can see it front and center. There's no forgetting it because it is right there in front of you. That's one practical thing that I would recommend. The next question she asks is, I run into too many things I have to know how to do and I don't. And in the process of educating myself, I eventually let go of the idea because it comes clear that my brain cannot figure out all the business, legal, technical, artistic, social aspects that are required. Yes, I understand. There are so many things that are involved in running a business, and sometimes we just don't know them all. Here's what I recommend for you to do. This is what I've done. What do you know how to do? Do that. Like, start there and continue adding as you're learning. Continue adding some of to the things that you know, which then adds to the things that you can do. That's number one. Number two, get help. Like, if you can afford it, and you'd be surprised at the things that you can get people to do, like on Fiverr or in these different places that you don't know how to do, and it might take you 10 hours to figure it out and 15 minutes for them to do. Pay them the $5, pay them the $10, the $50, whatever it costs, and have them do it. Now, what if you're in a situation where you can't even afford that? Once again, focus on what you can do. Continue learning and continue expanding what you can do, and you'd see that over time, it might take you a little longer, and that's perfectly okay. I've been at it for since 2008, and I still don't know how to do some of the things. And there's still a lot of things in my business that I'm not doing well. That's okay. Progress, not perfection. All right, we've got 3 more questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. Lloyd Trueblood asks, how do you know when it's time to make a big change? And how do you decide or balance the choice of a safe, steady job versus doing something that feeds your soul? Oh my goodness, Lloyd, that's a big question. I'm going to answer this for myself, and hopefully my answer is helpful to you. I will not spend my life focusing on something that does not feed my soul. If I'm working at a job and it is draining my soul and there is nothing soul feeding in it, I will then start working on creating that thing that will feed my soul. And I will do that until I reach to a certain point where I feel that I can make that transition or that leap, and I will make it happen. Listen, we live in a world where there's so much opportunity. Yeah, there's so many negative things that happen, but there's so much opportunity in front of us. And there's so many options, and there's so many resources out there to teach us how to do the things that we want to do. We have access to an almost infinite amount of knowledge in our pockets. I can't accept that I have to be stuck in something that doesn't feed my soul. Now, your first question, how do you know when it's time? I don't know that answer for you. For me, I'm on a journey of faith and trust. And in that, there's a relationship with God. I count on that relationship very much for giving me those prompts as to, okay, now it's the time to leave. When I left my job, it's because both my wife and I felt that God was saying, it's time. And because we had that feeling, we took that leap. I mean, if you looked at the details of the situation, it didn't make sense. But it's what we felt, and it's what we did, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. So how do you know? For me, that comes out of relationship, it comes out of prompting, and it comes out of faith. How do you know? It might be something similar, Or it might be, sometimes it might be that you get fired and now you have no choice but to do something else. I don't know what it's going to be for you, but that's what it's been for me. Wayne Roberts is asking this question. I heard the saying, I know what to do, so why don't I do it? How do I take each step when your head is trying to procrastinate instead? Oh my goodness. Yes, procrastinate. It's so easy to procrastinate. Here's what I do. Sometimes I will put myself in a situation where procrastination is no longer an option, because that's just the way my brain works, I guess. That is why I made a commitment to post a podcast episode every week, to post a video that's every Monday, to post a biology video every Tuesday, to post on social media every single day. And I gave myself a consequence. And the consequence was, if I don't post it, I got to pay y'all $50. I ain't paying y'all no $50, so I better get it done. Maybe there's something like that that is necessary for you, or that would be helpful for you. If so, great. That's one way. Number two, surround yourself with people that are doing stuff. Something about being surrounded by people that are doing stuff motivates you to do stuff. Like being a part of this mastermind group that I've been in for over a decade, if I had not been a part of it, I would still be working. I would probably still be teaching. And that's not bad, but I'm so glad that I didn't. Yeah. So those are two ideas, and hopefully that's helpful. Last question is from Isis Guerrero Wellman. Isis wants to know, oh man, we're making this thing fully spiritual now. She asks, when do you know that God is guiding or leading your path? Oh, shoot. And how do you know the signs that you're getting your prayer requests answered with the messy? Oh my goodness. How do you know if it's God prompting you? Yeah, Leslie just said, oh, him and his wife felt like God was saying, it is time, go and take this step. How do you know that? For me, it comes down to one thing. It comes down to relationship. It really does. Like, the more I get to know God and who he is, the more I am in communication with him, the more I get to... Okay, so I've been married now for almost 18 years. Wow, that took a little longer than I anticipated to come up with that. I don't know. I've been married for almost 18 years. I'm still, in some ways, trying to figure out my wife. I'm still learning about my wife. She's still learning about me. Why? Because we're two different people. We're human. And the more we spend time with each other, the more I get to know her. So I can now look across the room sometimes and see a look on her face in a situation, and I know what's happening. Like, oh shoot, okay, we need to do something about this. Why? Because I know my wife. I have friends where I could see them in a situation and know, okay, this is not good. Or, oh, this is good. Or I can call a friend and I say, how you doing? And they can say, I'm okay. And because I know how they would respond in the situation, because I've spent so much time speaking to them, I can tell that something is wrong. So then I'm like, what's wrong? If somebody close to me asks me how I'm doing and I say I'm good, they're going to be like, you're good? What's going on? Why? Because normally when they ask me how I'm doing, I'm better than stupendous. If you ask my daughter or my son how they're doing and they say good, you know, like, yo, we need to talk because they're just good. Why is that? Because you've spent enough time with them to know how they operate. I think oftentimes when it comes to our relationship with God, we want a 5-step or 3-step approach to knowing when God says move. No. I don't think it works like that. Because if, for me, in my wife and my daughter and my friends, it takes a lot of time for me to figure out the nuances of who these humans are. Can you imagine for an infinite God? Like, I need to spend time in that relationship and cultivating that relationship. And the more time I spend in his word, the more time I spend in prayer and talking with him and getting to know him, the more I start to recognize his voice. And the more I start to recognize, wait, this is him. This is him. I've seen this before. We cool like that. So I know this is what's going on. And I'll do that, and sometimes I'm wrong. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, I messed up. No, this wasn't God. But that gives me more information about that relationship. So how do you know? Relationship. That's all I got. It's not a 3-step process. It's a 1-step. Get in that relationship, nurture that relationship, continue focusing on that relationship. And when he tells you to move, eventually you'll start to recognize it. Make sense? I hope so. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Man, this podcast went in all kinds of directions. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to do this more. I'm gonna have to do this more. And if you have questions that you want me to answer, at the beginning, at the end of this episode, every episode, I play a number. I have to make sure it's still working. I'm gonna make sure after this episode that all is well with that number. But you can call that number and leave a message, and then I can play that message and answer your question on the hotline. On the podcast. So yeah, let's start doing that again, because we used to do that in the beginning and we haven't done it in a while. Anyhow, I know you got a lot of value from that episode. And as I said in the beginning, if you do something about this, if you don't just listen, but you actually take action, amazing things can happen in your life. This can change your life for good. Now, I got some questions for you. 2 questions. Question number 1, what is one thing you need to start, but you've been procrastinating on? And number 2, what date will you get it started? Let me know. Come to imleslysamuel.com/412 and leave a comment on the video on YouTube and make that commitment. My name is Leslie Samuel from imleslysamuel.com, and until next time, take care and God bless. I got carried away with that little scream at the end there. I don't know why. But anyhow, that was the number. Okay? Once again, the number is 888-835-2414. Call, leave your message, and I'm happily, gladly take your question. All right? Peace out, yo.